Alright, who should I show my poem to first? Let's show it to Natsuki. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday, so it's probably only fair if I share mine with her first. Huh? Oh! What the whoa! What in the fuck? What? I don't even know how to comment about that one. Am I seeing things? What was that? Anyway, Mozala says, fill your computer, check it when it happens. I don't know what you're talking about. God did nothing wrong. Did it to cheers that you made the wrong choice. Okay, anyway. Phil Summer, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What? You expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about. Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'll tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. You'll probably think it's stupid. So is this the same thing? Yeah, it's the same poem, or same as her first poem, right? Yes, so monkeys can climb, crickets leap, horses race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. It's the same poem. Alright. By the way, Ornites just did a cheer that said, here on out, weirdness will ensue. Okay. Yeah. I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. No, I am. Why are you so convinced I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like it when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can really be disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. The other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. So here we go. She's saying the same thing she did earlier, so I'm not even going to read the rest of it. This is the same dialogue exactly. Yeah. She's the youngest one there. Excuse me. Alright, now Monika. Hi, Vilsama. Having a good time so far? Yeah, good. By the way, since you're doing everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, or activities or things we could do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Alright, so, sharing the poem. Here we go. Let's see what she says. Let's get to it. Great job. I was reading in my head while reading it. It's very metaphorical. I didn't expect for you to go something so deep. I underestimated you. I think she said that the first time anyway. And she says, you know that Yuri likes this kind of writing. Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean that like it's a bad thing. But sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spent so much time in her own head that it's probably such a more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She has to be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. It's Yuri. I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. We all started sharing our poems with each other. Hey, already? I'm sorry for being late. No need to apologize. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad you all took the time that you needed. Alright, thanks, Monika. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims not to be good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. It doesn't mean that I always feel that way. Alright, let's see. Is her poem the same? Hole in the wall. I don't know if this is the same as her first poem. Is it? I don't know. I'm gonna read it. I don't remember. Hole in wall. He wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in the room, and are they talking? Are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is the same of her first poem or not. And I also don't know if there's any significance to it. So what do you think? It's very free form, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. That kind of style is getting pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone's better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. You try so hard to make it perfect that you'll never make any progress, so force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a dark puddle of ink. Move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Whew. Alright, so now Yuri's going to listen to the poem. Now, she should love it because I did a dark poem this time, right? As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. Hey, what was that? Did I say something? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Eh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience did you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem. Well, I know that. I just mean, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She chases her finger along the words of the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. Having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter and they form fit the two together. In the end, the result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not finding them and building them and getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Alright, blah blah blah. This is all the same. You mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. She spills dreamily as if it's a rare opportunity for her, which is kind of funny. Is this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost, so remember, Ghost Under the Light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath an amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining street light to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calms breathing air. I bathe, what? I bathe. Calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. Boy, I botched that. The light flickers and I flicker back. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking about that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Eh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem, even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Alright. Are you into ghosts? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all. Alright. It's exactly the same as she said. ABG just did a 25-bit cheer, said you need to play some Dark Souls ASAP. No, I don't. No, I don't. Alright, we can skip this because it's all the same dialogue. Lingering in her past, lingering in her last place of remaining comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive, too. I could learn a thing or two from you. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna keep doing my best for you, Phil-sama. Me too. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. It was more stressful than I anticipated. Blah, blah, blah. It's all the same thing. Okay. Across the room, Monika's writing something in her notebook. My eyes look on Yuri and Natsuki. They usually exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. They read in tandem, and I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Uh-oh. Yuri smiles sadly. Is this where they got into the fight? I think it might have been.